Blueberry from Outer Haven coming in into a 2v1 against Task Force Trident's Agent Orange, and Contrast unleashes an AMRAM up onto Agent Orange. Immediately following, Contrast sends one out. Agent Orange gets taken down, but is Contrast missile going to avenge his fallen comrade? Here it comes, slowly closing the gate, and it does. So 2 people go down in a matter of seconds. Contrast, the only one left alive. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. SATAL 2021. What a ride it has been so far. Currently looking at Task Force Trident against Outer Haven. And guys, I do want to apologize. This week has been, and even last week, it has been a little bit of a bumpy ride. A lot of stuff has happened in my personal life. My daughter's sick today. I had a bunch of guys in from out of town to do some home theater stuff at Thanksgiving weekend. It's just been rough. And I'm not going to lie, family comes before everything. So, you know, if sometimes it seems like, hey, Moltar, you're not putting in as much effort, dude, family first. I got to keep my personal life and my personal family happy, because without them being happy, none of this ends up being able to happen. So I'm just going to be upfront with you guys. That's how it all rolls. I put my family above everything else. So if I'm seem like I'm out of it or something, it's probably because I'm putting them above everything and making sure all of their needs are met before we get in here and do this. And I also want to say that I put my team's values and their lives above everything else too. So if they're having a rough time and they need to take a step back, and that means the competition gets pushed back a little bit or we suffer a little bit, then that's what has to happen, because it's the people and the relationships that matter, because without them, none of this would be able to happen. So, match. We've got 2 today. The reason we've got 2 instead of 3 is there was a problem with the U.S. server. The U.S. server decided it wanted to go poo-poo all over the place, and Sean, who's the guy that manages that server, it's one of his personal boxes, it decided to take a dump. So that's where we're at. We're trying to recover everything on it. We couldn't get the TAC views for the 3rd match. I don't remember what match it was. I'm just going by what I'm told, because I fly by the seat of my pants with these matches, because I don't like to know what happens, so I don't look into them, I don't look at them, so I depend on my team to make that happen. So there's a little bit of an issue with that. Just know that we are doing everything that we can to recover those files, and yes, we may miss matches streamed on the scheduled date, but we are going to stream them as soon as we can. It's just par for the course, ladies and gentlemen. So glad you're bearing with us, but let's jump into this matchup. All right, let me turn on the overlay. Is it running? Should be running. There we go. So we are ready to rock and roll as these guys ingress. Again, it is Task Force Trident against Outer Haven. Outer Haven being represented by Senpai Sprud, Blueberry, K-Gunner, and Toretto. Task Force Trident is Contrast, Agent Orange, Revenge, and Animal. So lots of 16s. We had a pretty mixed bag as far as aircraft yesterday. Today it is primarily Vipers, and I think it's all Vipers. Is it all Vipers? Yeah, all Vipers. Damn! I looked, so Task Force Trident, if there's any Task Force Trident rep here, I looked for your skins. I did not see any. I double checked. I went out to the repo, went to the F-16, went to the Task Force Trident folder. I did not see anything, so I looked. Not sure what's going on there. I do apologize if you have them. I looked at the Google repo and I didn't see anything. So my skin is objectively the best one from Outer Haven. Obviously it is the best one. I mean, that is a given. That is a given. And this camera is like locked. So you guys are gonna have to, I don't know what its deal is. It doesn't want to turn. Does anybody know why the camera would be locked like it is? Like, I can turn it a little bit, but I can't turn it more than, say, that. It's just stuck. VTAF Archer coming in with Prime Sub. Thank you very much, brother. Much appreciated. Just goes into the war chest of making the streams better. But again, does anybody know why this camera would be doing this? I can't move past this. It won't let me move any further than that. It's locked at that location. Anyone have any idea? Let me zoom this in. It's all in the tail number. Yeah, some tail numbers are objectively better than others. It's just a given. Can't get away from that. All F-16s, 4-on-4. This is going to come down to who's the best pilot. Padlock. Well, how do I unpadlock it? How do I do that, Bear? Do you know? Because I have no idea. These guys are ingressing. We're seeing tanks come off. Those were center lines, so no internal fuel yet. Padlock. Like page lock? I don't have that on my keyboard. There's screen lock. Settings option somewhere was padlock option. Okay. Well, let's pause this real quick. Controls. Well, I don't think it's in the Lua because it's... That doesn't make any sense. Pad. Terrain, lock, terrain view, locked view, num. I don't have num lock. Unlock view. How do I... Can I do this? Let's try that. Okay. There we go. We fixed it. Good job, chat. The funny thing was is I have a 75% keyboard and I don't have numlock. So I don't know really how that happened, but I programmed a key to unlock it. It works. Chat is awesome. Yeah. These guys are cooking in. Outer Haven coming in from the left, from Anapa. Task Force Trident coming in from the right, from Maycop. Flatland terrain. This is what the terrain looks like that we're going to be fighting over. This is what it looks like right here. So Anapa, Outer Haven, Maycop, Task Force Trident. That's what all of this looks like going down. And both teams, interesting. Both teams headed south. Well, I say that, but look at K-Gunner and Sprud up here to the north. Very interesting thing going on here for Outer Haven. Massive spread for them. Blueberry and Toretto down to the south, while K-Gunner and Sprud are way up to the north. I'm worried. I am worried about a 4v2 developing here in the center. Task Force Trident is staying much closer together. Much closer together. I mean, look at contrast. Agent Orange. Feel like there's somebody else here. Agent Orange, Animal, and Revenge down below. They're all very close together. And if they're allowed to, they're going to turn this 4v4 into a 2v4, which is something you never want in air combat. Never. Now, they are moving into terrain where it's not flat ground. It's going to have some foothills. Not high mountains, but foothills. So the terrain right around here is going to have some terrain to hide in. Now, Agent Orange also breaking off to the south. Let's go back and look at the bubble. So this is what the bubble looks like. They got plenty of room down to the south, so not worried about that. Separation between the two teams currently is 33 miles, not 55. No Tomcats. It's all an all F-16 affair. So Blueberry leading the way for Outer Haven in his F-16. Cruising, gotten rid of the center line. Love it. No AIM-9s, though. All AMRAMs. So who has AIM-9s? Nobody from Outer Haven has AIM-9s. Contrast has 1, and Revenge has 2. So 3 AIM-9s in play today. AIM-120 off from Blueberry. That's probably going to be on the lead aircraft for Task Force Trident. Probably on Revenge. Here's Revenge. Bank left turn. He's one of the guys with the 2 AMRAMs on his jet. 400 knots indicated. Missiles closing. Missiles at Mach 2.6 decelerating at 40,000 feet. Nothing coming yet. No reaction from this incoming AMRAM. There is a reaction. Probably a missile warning on Revenge's jet as he split S's aggressively down. 22,000, 20,000 pulling hard enough that he's not even accelerating. Can we see the missile yet? Probably up behind him somewhere. I don't see it, and it actually lost track. So Blueberry, meanwhile, has turned around. He's going to be on the left. He's turned around after launching that missile, and Toretto is picking up where Blueberry left off. So Toretto now coming in for Outer Haven in his F-16. Still 6 sticks on his jet. He thought he had his air brakes out, but he doesn't. Two tanks on his jet. AMRAAM now. Looks like that's off from Animal. So Animal's put an AMRAAM out. That's going to be on to Toretto, who we're looking at right now. Missile's going to be at his 2 o'clock high. 23,000 feet for that AMRAAM. There's actually 3 of them coming in on Toretto, and Toretto's head on with them. See him popping up like daisies right there in front of him, inside 3 miles and closing, but they're all very slow. Mach 1.3. He needs to realize, hey, I don't need to worry about chaffing these incoming threats. Should be fine. And he's turned around. No threat continuing there. Going back and taking a look at the TAC view. Let's zoom in on it so we can get a better picture. So TAC view, and we are going to get used to label scale being 100% so you guys can see what's going on. So missile now headed up to the north on to K-Gunner. That shouldn't be a factor. He's turned away. Blueberry has again recommitted. Here's Blueberry just launching a 120 from his jet. He's down to 4. AMRAAM's 2.5 miles already away from his plane, and it was launched onto Revenge. Revenge, the target of many AMRAAMs, low, and he spoofed that incoming missile that is now above him 17,000 feet and is trash Mach 1.8. But Revenge, let's go back and take a look at him, wasting no time, 5 miles in on Blueberry, going to split screen so we can see both these guys as they ingress towards each other. Blueberry now thinking about recommitting in onto Revenge within 5 miles here. Revenge pressing hard. AMRAAM's going everywhere from Blueberry. And Revenge is broken away. Blueberry thinking about recommitting. Revenge full cold away from Blueberry. Very low. Oh, that's why that camera's so fast. It's because it was fast forwarded. So Revenge cold, very low, and very fast. So we've got Revenge dragging Blueberry into a couple other adversaries. 120 out from Blueberry onto a 6 mile of front. Revenge. Just letting the camera catch up here, ladies and gentlemen. So we're riding along with Blueberry because he is the deepest in to the enemy hold here. Missile now out from Agent Orange. Blueberry now diving down below terrain, trying to spoof incoming threats. He keeps launching. Now he's got missiles coming in from his left side. And we're away and rolling. So Revenge, again, cruising, zooming in on the TAC view so we can see everything that's unfolding here. Blueberry able to get away from a couple threats, now recommitting. Multiple 120s getting line-of-sighted. Revenge back in. We see his target yet? No, Agent Orange is actually very, very close to Blueberry. So within 1 mile, Blueberry puts a missile on him, takes him down. So Blueberry able to make it work. Oh, and then he gets hit. So pausing this so we don't miss anything, and I actually think we missed Revenge taking down Toretto. Let's back up and take a look at the TAC view so we can see. I think we did. So Blueberry cruises in here, doesn't launch on Blueberry, puts one onto Toretto. Toretto gets pulverized. Revenge is able to get out, and this is how Blueberry gets outnumbered and outgunned. Takes down Agent Orange, though, so gets his man on the board, but then Contrast comes in and takes him to Plowtown. So now we're down to 2 aircraft for Outer Haven, K-Gunner and Senpai Sprud up here to the north, and that's what we're going to pick up. K-Gunner going to be on camera 1, and then camera 2 is going to be Senpai Sprud coming in from the north. Long-range AMRAAM out from Senpai Sprud. So we're off and rolling. Missile now coming in onto Revenge. Half mile, Revenge gone! No defensive maneuvering coming from Revenge. He's dead. And just like that, Senpai Sprud is the only one left. All our hopes and desires lie with you, Senpai. Can you make it happen? Probably need to think about, oh, he's still got a full tank of fuel, so he doesn't need to get rid of those wing tanks yet. Contrast coming in from Senpai's right, 120 out from Contrast. That's a 9-mile, 10-mile AMRAAM. Senpai sends one. He's got 2 left on his jet. Sends that at Animal. Is it on Animal? Yes, it is on Animal. So here's Animal defending that incoming AMRAAM. 1.5 miles away. 400 knots indicated for Animal. Senpai Sprud now flying headlong into an AMRAAM launched by Animal. I don't know that he gets away from this one. Half mile by Senpai Sprud. You are now mashed potatoes. Going from Sprud to mashed potatoes is never something you want to do. I know it's Sprud, it's not Spud, but you know we're going to make do. The lack of defensive flying by Outer Haven is a little bit concerning. And by a little bit, I mean a lot of bit. They got into positions and just didn't defend. Toretto is a girl. Okay, good to know. So Toretto, Senpai Sprud just didn't defend Animal's AMRAAM, just tried to get in too deep and paid the piper for it. Revenge traveling in time. Yep, he was very, very fast, had to pause himself to let time catch up to him. But that is the end of round 1. Task Force tried it, takes it with only 1 loss. Agent Orange was the only one that went down for their side. So guys, give me a few minutes. Round 2 is going to be coming at you in just a minute. Starting places, Task Force tried it now out of Anapa and Outer Haven out of Maycop. Domination showcased by Task Force tried it in round 1. That's going to be rough to come back from. Outer Haven just got annihilated by Task Force tried it. It seemed like they were in a panic. They'd get missiles launched on them, and they wouldn't really do anything. And I think this is a good opportunity to say, guys, flying in competitive DCS is not like flying in PvP. Yes, you've probably flown against a lot of these guys, but there are many times where your skills and the things you know can go right out the window because of confusion, stress, adrenaline. Man, it's all over the place. So I don't want anybody to think these guys are bad pilots. They are great pilots, and sometimes you just do things that you don't mean to and panic. Seems like that's what ended up happening to Outer Haven there in round 1 as they got, lack of a better word, demolished by Task Force Trident. So here we are in round 2. Outer Haven has got to get their act together, especially when it comes to defensive flying. They have to. If they don't, they're going to get their ass kicked again. They've got to figure it out. Departing now. Task Force Trident and Outer Haven going wheels up. Fixing the tack view here so we can all see it as these guys ingress. Well, the fight didn't actually take place over Bullseye. It was well south. Well south. Sorry guys, just answering some text messages. All right, we're off and rolling. So Task Force Trident now entering the fray on the left, coming into the bubble. Outer Haven with a little bit of a slower departure as they ingress. Again, pilots flying Task Force Trident represented by Revenge, Contrast, Agent Orange, and Animal. Outer Haven's Blueberry, K-Gunner, Senpai Sprud, and Toretto. Senpai Sprud was the last remaining pilot for Outer Haven. Got mashed by Animal. Animal just ripped him apart, didn't, as the animal he is. Why use the unused tactic in a match for the first time? That's a good question. When you don't know what you're doing, how can enemy... Beef. dropping the knowledge bombs. When you yourself don't know, how can they anticipate what's going to happen? They can't. They can't. Ingress continuing, everyone now in the bubble. F-16s all around, no other aircraft in today's matchup. Senpai Sprud is turning around. I hope he doesn't leave the bubble. Needs to be very careful. Well, he may be allowed to leave the bubble because he didn't make it all the way into the inside. Nope, he died. What just happened? Why did Senpai Sprud just die? Why did he turn around? What just happened? Outer Haven, is that right? Yeah, he left the bubble. I saw it happen. But Sprud Wazer saying, no, that's not right. You were still alive. How are you? Huh. Weird. You're dead in the track. So strange. It gave me a warning that I was about to leave. But 6v6, but isn't the 6v6 bubble larger? So if the 6v6 bubble is, oh, no, that doesn't make sense. If the 6v6 bubble is larger, wouldn't he have died earlier with the 4v4? Well, okay, here's what's gonna happen. I'm gonna restart these tracks. And I'm going to change a parameter. So guys, just give me a minute while I change something. Okay, those should be fixed. And we're just gonna fast forward up to the point that we were in the last round. So we should be okay. Waiting on these guys, the cameras to catch up. Apologize about this, ladies and gentlemen. Sometimes I just mess up. So these guys are ingressing now. See, oh, okay, so he turned around outside the bubble. That's why. Okay. So because he was outside it, he lived. But in the 6v6, because it was bigger, that turn occurred in the bubble, and he died. All right, so we fixed it. All right, so we're rolling now. K-Gunner in the F-16, leading the way for Outer Haven. Missile. Not out for K-Gunner yet. I'm anticipating him launching one here very soon. Lunkwa, we did do it. So K-Gunner traversing towards the opposition. Missiles out. Revenge defending against an incoming AMRAAM from high altitude. Again, the fight is taking place down to the south. Revenge at Mach 1.2. Very heavy. Rolls over. Pulling, trying to get away from an incoming AMRAAM. Still pulling. Oh! There goes Revenge's wings. Did a little bit of a roll while he was pulling, and that is something you never want to do. The lawn dart over the ground just means imminent death. And did you guys see him eject right before he hit the ground? So, Task Force Trident comes out. Subpar start for them as Revenge takes himself out of the fight here. Contrast now. Where's my cursor? There it is. Lead man for Task Force Trident, diving from altitude, 25,000 feet, 400 knots. Now breaking away. Anybody on internal fuel? No, everybody's still on their wing tanks. So missiles everywhere. Outer Haven is in a better position than they were last round, doing a decent job at not extending, getting too deep, so they are defending this time. But look how separated everyone is. You've got Toretto up here, Blueberry back here, K-Gunner, Sprud. The mutual support is going to be very difficult in this position with how spread out everyone is, but it looks like Blueberry and Toretto are coming back together. K-Gunner and Senpai are coming back together. Contrast and the rest of the Task Force Trident guys are regrouping. Who's going to be the first to try and make something happen? Looks like it's going to be Contrast coming in at Mach 1.1, 6,000 feet, hot. Animal and Agent Orange have also regrouped and recommitted back in with Contrast. Missile out from Blueberry up to the north. That's going to be on Contrast down to his 11 o'clock. He launched that from under Mach 1, so not a terribly energy-effective missile. K-Gunner just put a missile out. That one's going to be on Contrast, so we're going to stay with Contrast as he continues to ingress. It actually may be on Animal, so let's put Animal on here too. What's going on here? So the cameras aren't synced up. Man, today is just like a rough day for me, with things not behaving correctly. I'm sitting here wondering why everything's not in sync with everything. Now they are. All right, so Contrast now defending, incoming missiles onto him. Looks like he's going to be all right. Everybody's still on external fuel. Contrast defending threats from multiple angles. Lives to fight another day. Now we've got Agent Orange with the threat coming from his right. Can we see it? Just flies harmlessly underneath his jet. I mean, that's a little bit of butt pucker. See it detonate into the ground right there. But Agent Orange lives to fight another day. So Agent Orange, in contrast, again being more aggressive than Outer Haven's being right now. Senpai Sprud sends one up onto Contrast. Here's Contrast, seeing the missile coming from high altitude, 3.5 miles away. Lots of flares and countermeasures coming out, 2 miles now. Contrast, it's 550 knots, missiles down to Mach 1.7 and decelerating. It's closing, 0.9, 0.8, it's trying, it wants him, but it's down to Mach 1.3, and I think it's out of juice, not gonna get any closer, though it's trying to fly formation with Contrast's jet. Got close, but not close enough. So still 4 pilots remaining for Outer Haven, 3 still for Task Force Trident. Animal coming back in for Task Force Trident against K-Gunner. from Outer Haven. Here's K-Gunner. Outer Haven doing a much better job with altitude, climbing back up as they egress. K-Gunner now coming back into the fight at 16,000 feet, Mach 1 and accelerating. Everybody's still on external tanks. How we doing on weapons? Everybody's all right with weapons. Animals got the least with 3. Everybody else has 4, and Agent Orange and Contrast have 5. So K-Gunner unleashes a 120. That one's going to be at Contrast, putting them at split screen because they just fired on one another. K-Gunner immediately breaks away, doesn't support the missile all the way to Pitbull. Contrast trying to support it, lower, 5,000 feet, Mach 0.9. K-Gunner, 13,000 feet, Mach 1.1. Missiles are tracking each other. K-Gunner's missile is going to have a lot more energy than Contrast, but they're both not going to be effective. I'd like to see these guys save their countermeasures until they were really in the thick of it. They keep dumping countermeasures when over-energying the missile would be enough. Agent Orange now breaking away. Now everyone from Task Force Trident is Colts. Let's take a look at Toretto as she ingresses up to the north. Toretto in the F-16. 5,000 feet, unleashes a AMRAAM, Mach 1.1. That's going to be on Agent Orange. Agent Orange needs to defend. Agent Orange is doing a decent job at defending. So here's Agent Orange defending in Toretto with her launching aircraft in the upper right corner. Now kind of notching this incoming threat, but increasing the closure rate for Toretto coming in from his right. Contrast now down to the south from Agent Orange, getting pressed by Blueberry. Here's Contrast. Blueberry's going to be at Contrast 7 o'clock, somewhere over there. But Outer Haven being very, very aggressive right now, trying to run him down. Toretto just launched another AMRAAM up at Agent Orange. Blueberry unleashes one onto Animal. Contrast just unleashed an AMRAAM. That's going to be on Senpai Sprud. Blueberry just sent one at Contrast. And Contrast is going to need to be careful. This missile's going to be dangerous. Launch from close range. And it takes him down. Great shot by Blueberry on Contrast. Senpai Sprud now got a drove that one to the ground. Blueberry continues the onslaught, or thought about continuing the onslaught on Animal and Agent Orange. Now it's a 4v2. Put Animal and Agent Orange on screen. Here's both of them. Put one more up. Who do we want? How about K-Gunner? So here's all 3 of them. Animal upper left, K-Gunner upper right, Toretto bottom left, and then the TAC view that I am going to fix right now. Missiles being exchanged between the 2 teams. Outer Haven still having 4 pilots remaining. Agent Orange doing some aggressive defending here. There's Agent Orange, bottom left. So aggressive defending missiles going to be at their 9 o'clock. There's 2 of them, 0.5 miles away. Closing, trying to connect with his aircraft, but they don't have enough energy to make this last-ditch turn. K-Gunner's actually in a bad position against Animal. Animal sends a 120 out onto K-Gunner. K-Gunner has this missile coming in from the side. There it is, right behind him, and gets demolished. Great shot. Toretto gets taken down on camera 3, and Animal's going to be the only one left, flying low and in the weeds against an onslaught of Outer Haven flyers. Toretto, Blueberry, and Senpai Sprud trying to run him down. So Animal's going to try and disappear in the foothills. I love what Outer Haven's doing. Getting altitude. Senpai Sprud launching from 12,000 feet onto Animal. Animal, whoa. Defending. Launches high to low. Animal's gonna have a really hard time getting away from these. And while he's defending, he's just gonna allow an increased closure from his opposition. Gets rid of 1 missile. He's got another one coming from Toretto. Senpai Sprud recommitting into the face of Animal. Animal defending into the face of Senpai Sprud. Senpai Sprud in the upper right corner, launching. There goes a missile from Senpai Sprud. Animal defending the incoming AMRAAM from 3 miles. This is it. Animal gets pulverized. Great shot by Senpai Sprud. Would have maybe liked to see them defend a little bit more aggressively just in case something was coming their way. But Senpai Sprud gets the last kill and equalizes us at 1 apiece, which means we're going to round 3, baby. So buckle up. The all-important round 3 is about to take place. Blueberry from Outer Haven coming into a 2v1 against Task Force Trident's Agent Orange, and Contrast unleashes an AMRAM up onto Agent Orange. Immediately following, Contrast sends one out. Agent Orange gets taken down, but is Contrast missile going to avenge his fallen comrade? Here it comes, slowly closing the gate, and it does. So 2 people go down in a matter of seconds. Contrast, the only one left alive. Force Trident, or excuse me, Outer Haven came back. Senpai Sprud, who was the last one to die in round 1, got the last kill against the same guy that took him down. Animal. The Senpai Sprud getting that bittersweet revenge. The vegetable fights back against the predator. Just imagine like a angry potato. That's what I'm imagining. Senpai Sprud, is that a decent enough visual? Like, is that what you are, just an angry potato? That's what I think you are. That's how I'm visualizing you. Just a big old potato, sitting in a seat, joystick at hand, making it rain against Task Force Trident. Navy Doc says going with the Outer Haven on this one. They do have the momentum going into round 2, or round 3, excuse me. Looking forward to the full fidelity F1. Was that an F1 mod? I thought you guys were talking about sounds. I thought it was an F5. Is it an F1? I don't know. I don't even know! You guys need to educate me. Agent Orange now levitating off the ground. Levitation engine engage. All right, so it was an F1. Man, Moltar, what do you know? What a loser you are. These guys are taking off, tied at 1 apiece. Task Force Trident annihilated Outer Haven in round 1. Outer Haven annihilated Task Force Trident in round 2. This is anyone's game. Anyone's game. Coming into round 3. We love to see it. Pressure is on. Usually the teams are a little bit more patient going into the rounds this time. I'm new to this channel. Why does the channel go AFK for 15 minutes at a time? Well, that was only 3 minutes, and the reason I do that is because I have to reset things. So I have to get the next round set up. I'm only one dude running all of this, so I have to get the next rounds ready to go. I run 3 instances of DCS simultaneously. So I have to run the track 3 times, get it all synced up in time, get the TAC views ready to go, make sure that they're streaming to you guys live, get the overlays set. It's just a big production to do it live. I mean, if I did it on YouTube, you'd never know. But doing it here, unfortunately, it takes me some time. So like after this match, before we move into round 2, or to match 2, excuse me, I'll take a 15-minute break for me to get ready to go. So like you guys have this, right? You have all 3 cameras running simultaneously that I control via Stream Decks that you guys get to experience from different angles. Then we can throw up the live TAC view in the middle that you can also ride along with. If you got TAC View Advanced, for anybody that doesn't know, TAC View Advanced, you can connect into my rig and get the TAC View Advanced stream live while we're going through this. So you can drive your own TAC View camera during the broadcast. You have to have TAC View Advanced. So these guys are ingressing here. Zoom in on TAC View. Get a better view. Every time the fight has ended up down here to the south. I don't know why. I guess the teams want to fight over the foothills. Not entirely sure. I don't know. Do an awesome job with the videos. Thanks, man. It's a team effort. Without my team, this would not be able to happen. So Alpha Whiskey, for all the videos that he does, he's the man responsible. We just transitioned into making those highlight clips with me doing the voiceovers. We're doing those now. It's trying to get ahead so we can release those earlier. Bear and Sean for doing all this stuff they do with the missions and organization, and man, huge help there. Archer for everything that he does with the stats. And I know Archer's been a little bit sad that we haven't shown the stats on stream. I'm going to be honest, a lot of times I forget because I'm very forgetful. But Archer, you make me being able to do these broadcasts less stressful because I can just go and look at the stats. And I have the breakdown of when everything happens, and it is so much easier to do because you are doing that. So, man, you are a major contributor to making this stream run the way it does. And people do go look at the stats after the blocks are done. We get plenty of complaints about, why aren't the stats right? Why aren't the stats posted? Blah, 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 blah. So after the blocks, that is huge that stuff gets done. You are a critical element in making all of this happen. So don't feel like your work is going undervalued or unappreciated. You are a major source. And then, of course, our sponsors, Eagle Dynamics, TACView, and, of course, Thrustmaster for contributing and making this stuff possible. So there's some stuff coming in the future, hopefully next year. New things. We're going to do SATAL Unlimited. I hope. Pretty sure that's going to come in the spring. That's going to be a heavily restricted version of SATAL. We're just talking about this while these guys are ingressing. So that's going to be new. SATAL Limited. Thank you, Barrett. SATAL Limited. I'd also like to do like a Christmas holiday World War II BFM competition. I don't think there'll be any prizes, but maybe we can do something small there. I think that would be cool. And maybe do a Korea Cold War version of that as well, just all BFM. So I think that would be super cool. No modern jets. And they would all have their own separate brackets. So with how simple Bear and Sean have made this stuff to run with the missions and everything, I think that would be something super cool. Just do it over a weekend. So these teams are continuing to ingress and get closer, making sure my cameras are all synced up. They are for the most part. So these guys are coming down, and Task Force Trident really likes these foothills down here to the south. They're all really close together, continuing to press on. They're going to be at the bubble's edge. I'm worried about that positioning. So let's take a look here. So here is their positioning. There's the bubble's edge. If you leave the bubble, you will get a warning here. If you leave the bubble, you die. So being on the bubble's edge, you got your back against the wall. I'm worried about that. I'm really worried about that for them. AIM 120s now, out from Revenge and Blueberry. Will the Blueberry get stomped and smashed all over the ground and go pfft? Or is Revenge's revenge going to be served cold and he's going to be the one paying the piper for it? Another AMRAM coming off from K-Gunner. Nobody in dire straits yet. You can check out Blueberry. Sees a little bit of a delayed reaction. Blueberry now diving away. Split S launched one missile so far. That's going to be the closest AMRAM. Revenge now, not defending yet. He is now. So here is Blueberry and Revenge diving away. Reminder, a couple of the guys do have AIM 9s. Contrast and Revenge are the guys with the AIM 9 mics. Outer Haven much more spread out than Task Force Trident. Another AMRAM, this time from K-Gunner, is going to be on Revenge. Revenge flying headlong into this one. It may be a harmless AMRAM, 120 it though, as I think it's flying over him, and it actually may be tracking Contrast back behind him, so no problems there. Going back to TACView to get the overall view of everything. So Senpai Sprud launches a 120. Toretto does the same. Many more missiles coming out from Outer Haven, in stark contrast to what we're seeing from Task Force Trident. Revenge for Task Force Trident, pressing in. Agent Orange also releasing a 120 onto Toretto. Revenge at 8,000 feet. Looks like he's getting ready to launch. Goes inverted, 500 knots. Nope, breaking away. Decides, hey, I don't want to press any further into this engagement. Feels a little isolated. Another 120 coming off from Senpai Sprud. I'm going to assume that one's onto Revenge, but he's going to be so far away, we're not going to move to his camera angle because it's not going to make it out to him. Animal, Agent Orange, in contrast now, coming back into the fight. Senpai Spread, Blueberry recommitting along with K-Gunner in the rear. Teams are actually being fairly aggressive for this to be a third round. This is 4v4 Silver League. Nothing wrong with that, just pointing that out. Revenge now recommitting back in. Again leading the way for Task Force Trident. Blueberry is going to be his primary adversary. He unleashes a 120. Here's Blueberry coming in. That 120 fired from Revenge is going to be on Blueberry. Blueberry not launching anything yet. Getting the missile warning now. Missiles within 5 miles. Elects not to fire as Revenge has turned cold. Dumping some chaff. Missiles 2.5 miles away. Mach 1.5 should not be a threat. Great defensive maneuver there by Blueberry. Another 120 coming up to the north onto Contrast. Contrast is going to be fine. Thought he was going into the notch, but no, he's split S-ing and driving that missile out of energy or into the ground. So everybody doing a great job. We've actually got somebody fairly close. Nope, Senpai Sprud able to get away from it. Agent Orange now with a missile coming in onto him. Agent Orange missile from Senpai Sprud. What's he doing here? 3.5 miles away. Nope. 1.2 miles away. One. It's got some energy on it, but not enough for terminal, and it can't make the turn. Agent Orange is able to get away from it. Good decision by him to make that turn to bleed it out of its remaining energy. Teams resetting here. Blueberry coming back in from Outer Haven. Senpai Sprud coming back into the north. Animal's cold for Task Force Trident. Contrast is also cold. Revenge is back in hot. Here's Revenge in the F-16. He's got 4 sticks left, 2 of them being AIM-9s. 120 from Blueberry on to Revenge. He launches one. That's a 120. He's got one 120 left. It's on Blueberry, who's pseudo-defending at 0.9 Mach, 4,000 feet. Revenge's AMRAAM shouldn't get anywhere close to him. Everyone from Outer Haven now is in a very aggressive stance. Contrast now launches one on his Senpai Sprud. Contrast needs to be careful because he's actually defending into K-Gunner. AMRAAM from Senpai Sprud, chasing down Contrast, and K-Gunner puts one out onto Agent Orange. Missile onto Agent Orange is going to have some juice. Don't see it yet. He's chaffing. K-Gunner elects to stay hot. So K-Gunner is pressing, and K-Gunner actually needs to be careful about Contrast coming in from the left. Looks like he's getting him on data link now. So this is going to be a very close engagement. Missile off from K-Gunner, and that's going to be a high to low shot. Contrast doesn't respond. That is a very, very dangerous shot coming in onto Contrast, and Contrast, I think, is in dire straits. I don't think he gets away from this one. He doesn't. Gets pulverized. He's down. Now Agent Orange is in a bit of trouble. From Blueberry, he's getting pressed, and then Blueberry immediately comes off and presses onto Revenge. So multiple double sword. Blueberry launches onto Revenge. He gets Agent Orange, he gets taken down. Then we've got one coming in onto Revenge. I think he's going to get obliterated here momentarily. Another launch coming from Blueberry. That takes him down. Blueberry then gets taken down. Sorry we didn't see that one. But in the span of 15 seconds, 4 people died, and Animal again is all by himself. The Predator is alone, stalking the skies of the Georgian-Russian countryside. And Senpai Sprud, the man, the myth, the potato, coming in from the north, launches a 120. Coming in on Senpai. Senpai trying to get away from it. Where is it? Looks like he line of sights it. Yeah, he does. Immediately thinks about recommitting. Senpai Sprud, meanwhile. Bank turn, coming back into the fight. 5,000 feet, Mach 0.9. Animal, 1,000 feet, Mach 1. Tanks off from Animal. Senpai Sprud still got the tanks on. He's still on external gas. Senpai Sprud launches the 120 out on Animal. Animal defending. AMRAAM 1.5 miles. Unwanted facialization commence, and Animal goes down by the potato. Senpai Sprud kicks it off again. got the last kill in round 2, was the last death in round 1, and gets the kill when it matters here in round 3, giving Outer Haven the match victory 2-1. Senpai Sprud, legendary Golden Potato. What a great job by Outer Haven, losing it in round 1, coming back and getting the last 2, getting the match victory. And that's where we end this match, ladies and gentlemen. Outer Haven takes it over Task Force Trident, and now
I'm here.
just doing some ASMR, you know, getting people ready for people taking off. Sometimes it's good to just enjoy these sounds of DCS. It's just where we roll. We are back. Maybe we should do the takeoffs more like that. Excuse me as I burp into my microphone. Maybe we should do the takeoffs more like that. Just shut up, enjoy the takeoffs, watch these guys ingress or take off at least from their airfields. This is Maycop against Mozdok. I believe it's the airfields in question. No fuel tanks on the F-15 because they were banned. So still electing to take the F-15, but they were banned at the point that this was going on. There was an update that came out and they unbanned them, but they are banned at this point, which is why the F-15 has no tanks, because they were banned, because it was causing the F-15 to be able, somebody in chat said, become an SR-71, which is not what we want. Update overlay. There we go. This overlay's updated. These guys are coming in. This is what the mission area will look like. Mozdok against Maycop. Here's that location as the sim loads up on that screen. So mixed airframe. Who's flying for each team? CETAVs, Toro, Nazardo, Nike, and Hell Requiem. While Phoenix Task Force has Gatling, Predator, Black Arrow, and Falcon. Mixed aircraft all around. We've got a flanker, an F-18, an F-16, and an F-15 for CETAV. I think that's an F-15. Isn't that an F-15? JF-17, excuse me. And then for Phoenix Task Force, we've got two 16s, an F-15, and an 18. So aircraft mixture all around. What sound mod is it? Yeah, it's core sound mod, and then the Echo 19 sound mods for the other jets. And then I've got some of my own stuff sprinkled in there from OG days before Echo 19 took that over, and I don't have to worry about it. So, yeah, core sound mod is the sounds that are used for the non-full fight jets. The F-16 and the F-18 have their own. Everything else is in core. And there are some sounds, I don't know if Echo 19 replaced them, that I've got some OG stuff still in there. But these guys are ingressing. Here's the TAC view. Mission location is not as near spread out as the last one was. Does core affect some aircraft negatively? I don't know, Lumen Ghost. So there's a problem with the Vigan, and the issue, and I don't know if it's still this way, but the Vigan and the MiG-21 share sounds, and so does the Su-25. So there's some shared sounds along those, and if you mess with one, you can royally screw up the others. You got to find a happy medium for all of them. I don't know if it's still that way, but that's how it was when I used to do a lot of the sound stuff a few years ago. I've since gotten out of it. I don't fly the Vigan, so I'm not entirely sure. Look how much further CETAV or CETAV, I'm just going to call him CETAV because it's a lot easier for me to say, is into the bubble than Phoenix Task Force is here. Things we need to pay attention to are Black Arrow and his speed. It looks like he's trying to conserve fuel before he gets a little bit closer. Usually we'll see the F-15 coming blistering into the engagement. It says Silver League 4v4, Phoenix Task Force sharpshooters against CETAV. I think I will pull for CETAV or Phoenix Task Force just because of the variety of aircraft. J-11 trying for a sneaky low altitude play. Let's check. Where is said Su-27? It's going to be Toro. And yeah, he is very low. So here's Toro in the Su-27. He's got two 77s, two ERs, two ETs, and two 73s, electing not to take the wingtip missiles. Interesting. That is going to be the first missile. A couple missiles is going to be ST-10 and AMRAAM off for CETAV. Nothing having come off for Phoenix Task Force yet. One of the ST-10s heading south towards Falcon and Predator. Here's them as they are hopefully going to defend or start defending here. Here's the area as it continues to unfold. So Falcon and Predator headed down south. ST-10 is tracking, and it looks like it's on Falcon. Falcon not doing a whole lot yet. Is the missile, where is it? There it is. He just doesn't care. Doesn't care. What a mofo he is. No maneuvering, anything. Gives no shits about that incoming ST-10 at all. Now, Black Arrow getting his game on, coming in at Mach 1.4 against the rest of these guys. So look at this guy, Black Arrow, ingressing onto these boys. Falcon unleashing a missile. That's going to be onto Nike. Nike defending in the F-16, driving away, but he's just increasing the closure rate for Black Arrow coming in from the north. So Black Arrow putting him on camera 1, unleashing some AMRAAMs from altitude. Another one out for him onto Hell Requiem. Predator and Falcon thinking about recommitting. Gatling coming in way to the north, so we're going to put him off the screen for now. Missile out from Predator. It's right along with it. So here's the missile from Predator in the bottom left screen. Falcon, meanwhile, has recommitted. And it's actually a really good launch from Predator, forcing Nike on the defensive, allowing Falcon to get in closer and get a better shot. So let's go back and take a look at Falcon. Here's Falcon in his F-16, bottom left corner. Nike jettisons those tanks. Falcon in a very good position, coming in against Nike. Missile out from Falcon onto Nike. Can we see where that one is? It's on the right, 4 miles away. Nike's gonna try, he's getting into the notch. He's not perfectly notched, 1.5 miles, 1 mile, and Nike may be the first casualty. Here it comes. Goodbye, Nike. He gets slammed. Now going back up and taking a look at Black Arrow. Black Arrow unleashes a 120. That one's gonna be coming, looks like onto Toro. Here's Toro defending that incoming AMRAAM from Black Arrow, and there's another one coming in onto Hell Requiem. So putting these guys on a split screen. Can we see the missiles anywhere? One on the right. Toro. Oh, Toro gets pulverized. Hell Requiem, I think, might be next. We can see his fallen comrade back there, going in a ball of fire into the ground, waits to get an ST-10 off. So he's still alive. Black Arrow now recommitting back in. Multiple missiles coming in at Hell Requiem. And did Nazardo go down? I only see one guy left. Oh, Nazardo's a late entry. Nazardo's way back here, off the screen. So he's a very late entry into this fight. Hell Requiem on the left in the JS-17, trying to make something happen. Let me fast forward the track here again. But he is running for his life away from everyone. He's trying to run back to Nazardo in the F-18. Mach 1 for Hell Requiem. Black Arrow accelerating. Well, not really. He's just sauntering up at altitude. And Black Arrow's got 4 AMRAAMs left. Nazardo trying to get as hastily as possible into the area to help his teammate. What's going on with Hell Requiem? Just sitting at the Mach wall. It's interesting. Hey, Ma, look at my trick. Now through it. Mach 1.05. Gatling's still running him down. He's got no SC-10s left, just the 2 PL-5s remaining. Nazardo, 20,000 feet, not on screen yet. He's getting closer. So distance between Nazardo and Hell Requiem's 35 miles. We're gonna start getting to the Bubble's Edge. Here's Bullseye. So Bubble's Edge is gonna be somewhere in here probably. So I'd imagine Hell Requiem's gonna run into that wall and have to recommit. Nobody being overly aggressive on speed for Phoenix Task Force. Here's the fuel states. weapon states for everybody still. Black Arrow's the lowest on fuel out of anybody. And he took off with no tanks. Our Requiem starting to get run down now. Gatling slowly closing, 0.05 closure. Missile from Nazardo. That's probably going to be on Gatling trying to push somebody off. But the bubble wall is going to be coming up here very, very quickly on Hell Requiem. It's got to be somewhere in here. Black Arrow staying hot in his F-15. No gate from him yet. There's probably the bubble wall as Hell Requiem banks left. Another 120 out from Nazardo. And they're not working because he's outside the bubble. They're just detonating. He can't shoot outside the bubble because we don't want people existing outside the bubble and firing, so they're just disappearing. Black Arrow now unleashing multiple missiles onto Hell Requiem head on from high altitude, 6.3 miles away. Hell Requiem, I think, is a dead man as Black Arrow unleashes multiple AMRAAMs at Mach 1.3. Closest one, imminent danger, Hell Requiem. There it is, Hell Requiem is slaughtered. And now it's just Nazardo, who still is not in the bubble, coming in from 18,000 feet. And these guys can fire from outside the bubble in. And he's now inside the bubble, unleashes one onto Black Arrow. Black Arrow now defending against that AMRAAM, but he's very fast, so I don't think that's going to catch him. Probably going to miss, even though it's inside a mile. It's not going to have the energy to turn with him. Nope, flies harmlessly underneath him. So Black Arrow defeats that. Nazardo now defending an incoming AMRAAM. That's going to be it. So Falcon finds Nazardo in low, hits him with an AMRAAM, and that is all she wrote. Phoenix. All right, boys and girls, we are back. Round two. CETAV against Phoenix Task Force. CETAV had a rough go of it there in round one. Lumigo says, Mach 3 Eagle was super annoying. Happy to see it gone. Yeah, it was really frustrating, especially in PvP public play. It was really annoying because most server admins aren't going to do anything because I think a lot of server admins don't even know that it's a problem. And I could go as even further to say that there's a lot of people that would abuse it because it exists. So I'm glad that it's gone. Sucks that we had to ban it for a while in this, but Black Arrow didn't abuse it, doesn't have fuel tanks, loves the F-15. So he made it work. Made it work really well. These guys are ingressing. CETAV has got to get their act together. They've got to figure out a way to make something happen. It's going to be really important for them to get the first kill. I think if they can get the first kill and push Phoenix Task Force back on their heels, they're going to be able to make something happen here in this round. Key is, can they do it? Can they get that first kill? Looked pretty like an uphill fight for them in round one. Are they going to be able to peak and find the downhill here in round two? Chat, what's your thoughts? They'd come in like 120s if they were LGBTs. Good God. Yeah, you're probably right. With that amount of speed. Did the F-15 do a good job so far? It has. It got 2 kills in round 1. I think PTF has the momentum to win. I still want to see the flanker do something. That'd be nice. Flankers are always cool to see because they fight in a different way than really everything else does. CETAV again, earliest to the bubble, already finding themselves midway in. Here's what the bubble looks like, just so you guys can see it. So you can see CETAV is far, far further into the bubble. They're abusing that speed of the F-16s. More so than Phoenix Task Force is. So closing Nike leading the way, followed by Hell Requiem. Again, the pilots for both these teams are CETAV, Toro, Nizardo, Nike, and Hell Requiem. And then for Phoenix Task Force, we have Black Arrow, Gatling, Predator, and Falcon. Mixed hodge of aircraft here. Still a little curious as to why Toro's not taking the wingtip R-73s on his J-11. See what I'm talking about. Here he is. And you can see he's not taking wingtip R-73s like most people do. Looks the bubble smaller than previous matches, or is it just point of the match? No, it's smaller. This camera was on fast forward. Not going to miss anything, though. Just got to let everything else catch up. Team's about to come to blows now. Nike's still leading the way for Phoenix Task Force. Again, guys, it's paused on the TAC view because I'm letting the camera catch up. I just saw a missile come off from Nizardo, but I don't think it was. Almost there. Nothing coming off from anyone so far. There we go. We are synced and off and rolling again. So Nike directly over Bullseye. His closest adversaries are going to be Falcon and Predator from Phoenix Task Force. Nike now banking left in what looks to be an effort to cut off Falcon and Predator. Gatling headed down towards Hell Requiem. He's at 19,000 feet in his F-16. All AMRAMs on his jet. Mach 1.05, missile now out from Nike. Here's that missile as it traverses up towards Falcon and Predator. It's about an 8-mile shot. Falcon also unleashed an AMRAM. It is going to be headed towards Nike. So here's both of those missiles as they come in on a split screen. One fired from Nike detonates into the ground. One fired from Falcon also loses track, and it is more than likely going to go into the ground as well. Yeah, Ninja Squirrel fodder right here. So Gatling, closest to CETAV right now. Missile off from Black Arrow in the F-15, and he is moving rather rapidly. Mach 1.6 for Black Arrow right now. 1.6 at 28,000 feet. Sends an AMRAAM out towards Hell Requiem. Hell Requiem's still hot. Well, kind of hot. He's diving now in the JF-17. He's launched an ST-10. That ST-10 is going to be on Black Arrow. So split screen for both these guys as there's AMRAAMs headed, or missiles headed to both of them. ST-10's closing on Black Arrow. Can we see it? He's dumping some chaff. Somewhere behind him. There it is. 1.5 miles, and the AMRAAM that Black Arrow sent at Hell Requiem has already run it out of juice. So both of these guys, missiles falling short. Nothing to worry about. Match continuing to unfold. Gatlin being a bit more aggressive. Thought he was going to be, and then he broke off. Here's Gatlin, 2,000 feet, weeds level. That aggression now being picked up from the north by Predator. Predator in the F-16. Again, all AMRAAMs dumped the center line already. Trying to make something happen against Nike. Gatling recognizing that he's got a friendly out in front of him, now recommitting. Gatling in the upper right, riding along still with Predator. Gatling may pick up the aggression from Predator. And everyone, or at least 3 guys from CETAV are now hot. Gatling, lead hot contact from Phoenix Task Force, unloads an AMRAAM, and that one looks to be on, I think it's on Toro. That does indeed look like it's on Toro. So here is Toro defending in his J11. He's launched an ER and a 73 so far. Predator dumping lots of countermeasures. Lots of AMRAAMs coming. One detonated in the ground, one going up for Predator, another one going down to Gatling. But everybody so far from both teams doing a very good job of defending any type of incoming threat. Nike now with the missile launched on him. Here's Nike. He's got 2 AIM-9s and 2 120s left on his boat. Missile off from Gatling, just saw him unload one. That looks like it's gonna be on Toro again. Here's Toro going into defensive flying. Toro dumping all kinds of countermeasures, going to the notch. Missiles on his right, 3 miles away, 2.5 now. Looks like he's gonna be able to notch it without too much of a problem. Yep, no problem. Missile hits the ground, and Toro lives to fight another day. Now he does have another missile coming in from his right. There it is, 1.2 miles away. Closing, is he gonna be able to notch it? Yes, it loses track of him, flies harmlessly overhead. So Toro notching and defeating multiple incoming missiles back to back. Great job there. Guy that I think may be in trouble here in just a moment is Hell Requiem in the JF-17. He's got 3 ST-10s left. 120 out from Gatling onto Hell Requiem. That's going to be from his right, I believe. No, it's going to be head on now. Low to high shot. Hell Requiem solving some geometry for the missile as he dives away. Missiles inside a mile. Hell Requiem, I think, would have been better served. Staying high. Missile still has enough energy to connect, and there goes Hell Requiem. Gone. Gatling gets the first kill. Great shot by him. And Gatling now revisiting where he's at in the F-16, recommitting back into the fight. Coming now in onto Nike. Unloads a 120. That's inside 4 miles. Nike launches a missile of his own. And Nike, I think, waited too long to try to get that missile off. Nike gets hit, and Hell Requiem notches that missile. Great job by Gatling to kill and defeat an incoming missile. Fantastic job. Now, missile out from Toro. On to Gatling. It's a ET, so let's ride along with it. Here's the ET. Does Gatling know that missile's coming? It's cruising. 3.5 miles away. Split screen now. Missile, we can see just over the shoulder of Gatling. ET's still closing. No flares from Gatling yet. We can see Gatling 2 miles away. Toro not closing. Another ET launch. We're going to see it fly by this one. And actually we don't. Half mile. Gatling turns right into the ET. Gets pulverized. Great shot by Toro to at least get them on the board. Pausing because I think there's some action that we need to make sure we don't miss. So it is a 3v2. And Toro Oh no, bad picture on Toro missile AMRAAM, 0.2 miles behind Toro's ass. That was launched by Predator. Let's pick up the action right here. Goodbye, Toro. Boom! There go the wings from Toro. And now Nazardo, last man standing, and the F-18 missile coming in from the top. Can we see it? There it is. One hits the ground. Another missile now being launched from Falcon. And I don't think he gets away from this one. 2 miles. Black Arrow also launching 2 missiles. Half mile. Nazardo pulverized. And that gives Black Arrow and the rest of the Phoenix Task Force crew the match win over CETAV. Play of the game was definitely Gatling notching Nike's missile as it closed in on his jet. What a maneuver that was. That was amazing. Play of the game, there it was. Multi-request Navy Dog favorite song. I can't do that to him. I'm not that much of a terrible person, so sorry, Smooth Angles. Tomorrow, guys, I have no idea what we're streaming tomorrow. Things have been kind of up in the air. I'm not sure who's available and who's not, so you guys are just going to have to bear with me. But we are going to be back 1600 Zulu tomorrow, and we're also going to have matches over the weekend, and we have the start of Fight for Honor tournament with Mover on Saturday, so be ready for that. That's going to be an awesome time. I'll be posting Twitter updates as far as times for that, and we're probably also going to have matches for SATAL over the weekend, so we got a lot of DCS action coming up. Be ready, get ready, more is on the way. But guys, that brings us to the end of this broadcast. Thanks for joining us. I will see, hopefully, all of you tomorrow, 1600 Zulu, for more SATAL action. Until then, stay safe in those virtual skies, and I'll see you guys later. Have a good one.